Hello, my pretties. How y'all doing today? I am Swizzy Colón. Okay, we're done. Welcome to Swizzy Says. Swizzy saying, time to get into Stranger Things Season 3. If you haven't seen 2 or 1, I've already put and posted them, girly pops. Let's go. So, as you can tell, we dressed up for the occasion. Finally put some intent into everything you see here. These are new. Yes, please clap.
Another one, thank you.
This is a rewatch of Stranger Things that I already did ahead of Volume 1, but after everything que lo pasé in Volume 2, I decided to make a YouTube videos about it. So to add to the cultural noise, conversation, zenith, zeitgeist that is happening. So come along for this ride. I'm very excited because Stranger Things 3 is my favorite season. If you couldn't tell, all right? It's bombastic, it's speedy, it hits you with a lot, and it's a spectacular. So we're gonna try to emulate that today, correct moon day. So let's get the party started and swizzy right into it. Season 3, Chapter 1. Susie, do you copy? We'll say a little prayer for you. Sorry, my voice is not the one. Gosh, I really am so forgetful with the Russians have arrived opener. I did not realize fan favorite Alexei was literally in the first scene. And he's kind of like big head honcho after, the cold opener. And this machine is in Tri-Kate. Stark level, really. Also, so many cues about the Russians. Like, they must have had spies to know about Hawkins. I think that's pretty clear. We can infer that. We're off to the typos already. And what's why they do it all? For powerful demo creatures. And this also proves the Upside Down isn't isolated to Hawkins or just Dimension X. These should be cues because these are legit cues. A lot of the cues are how does this operationally happen? But then the other ones are the whys. What is the intent and motivation for X for X to do this? So we will say at least Q1 and Q2 because I think the Upside Down versus Dimension X is like a constant thread that I'm very looking forward to Season 5, Volume 2 doing. Yes, put that in your pipe and smoke it. Ill, first scene in Hawkins and Malevolent are macking out, relaxing, being all cool, blah, into our first E-1, 26 overall, and giving poor Hopper heart stresses. But her saying, I wish you were still here as he left after Hopper basically kicked him out, yada, yada, yada. And him saying, yeah, okay, tomorrow. Plus his friends clocking their obsessive, isolating behavior. Like the way he's just so like, yeah, it's cool. Like, this is what we do. Like, da-da-da-da. Like, she's caught in the emotions and he's caught in the actions. Realize. That's correct. So that will be our E-2 first negative for the season. 27 overall. Oof, this season is already moving at a lightning pace. Love the mall setting, despite a temple to American capitalism, and there's some more socioeconomic context around that we will get to. Erica's back, baby, with her own Steve-like cadre of children. It's never explained. They're also all black, which in season 5 is used to a humorous effect, or the lack thereof. But it is like, she never addresses their names, she never acknowledges them. I don't like that they're problematic Stranger Things crew behavior, even though she's a character. Center stage, babe, center stage. Robin's intro chastising Steve for his ungrateful children. Those children are ungrateful. No appreciation. Just, come on, Mikey, do better. Anyone, Will, do better. Mike, of course, noticing and checking in on Will's first neck tingle TM of the season. I'm so tempted to count the neck tingles, but I haven't been doing that. But let's just have fun. Let's see how many. So this is the first one, right? After glancing at his lips. Sus behavior, bro. BL-119. I appreciate the liberative script of Nancy waking up as the late wheeler in this season opener and pulling a role reversal of the multiple men that she had last season, as she's the one to sneak out of Jonathan Byers' house and season 3, still not a Jansay supporter. Nope. The car convo sets the stage for the sexism versus crawl. Season 5, I'm telling you. Their car convo sets the stage for the sexism versus classism brawl later. And Joyce already discovering the magnet issues. Y'all, I love this woman because obviously when she's fixated on like the one she loves, it's beautiful. But when she's fixated on something ridiculous like these magnets, hilarious. But it's like hilarity that proves a rationale. P.S. when Will says he won't fall in love. There's a lot of fanfics to prove that wrong. But why do they focus on this bobblehead in the Henderson car upon Dustin's return? Heartbreak, thy name is the Henderson dead cat. Also, I had my buddy here the entire time for season 2 and forgot to bring him up. In honor of the missing Buyer dog, Will is not the only buyer that went missing. The first season, here's my Scooby-Doo that I got when I was 5. Honor. We love her. And I only bring that up, pet rant aside, because it's also paired with Dustin's return home, that the good news is that his turtle did survive the demo dogs. But that setup where his friends forgot, only to surprise him later with Lucas getting the brunt of it. Poor Lucas. Stranger Things. You knew what you were doing. Baddies being hotties, what can we say? But the setting of the public pool that didn't get close to racism from the 60s through the 90s, as was done much in this country, I've linked to an article that I found fascinating about that subject, because third spaces are good. Third free spaces are good. Are public goods, good for the soul, good for the community. And I love that this pool is paired with the mall, that it's not just the mall, but a pool. What can I say? I'm a summer girly. By your side. Hopper is every last Byler stan. I need for them to break up. Joyce with the positive parenting, talk to them. Hop's disdain for the Wheeler boy, which I realized might have a purpose. We'll see. I feel so for Nancy at working should be good fit newspaper. Love these sentences. So let me translate. I really feel for Nancy working at what should be a good fit, the newspaper, but working for overtly sexist blokes. Let me tell you, sexism, homophobia, colorism, it's all not fun in the workplace. I will say that. With a resonating pitch about the mall. Okay. So then Jonathan and Nancy work at the newspaper this season. It's funny because I think it's like the only season we see them working. Meanwhile, Steve and Robin out here hustling for the next 3 seasons. Okay. And so I like how she has a resounding pitch about the mall has led to all these Main Street, downtown, small mom and pop businesses closing. We should do something about that. And then they just make fun of her. Hate it. Because she's right. She is working class hero. Nancy, Rosie the Riveter, Wheeler. Homegirl. Nancy, Drew, Scooby-Doo, Daphne, walk them down Wheeler. And now Nancy, Rosie the Riveter, Wheeler? Collecting these nicknames like she collects those men. Hand clasp, you say. Both potential slow burns, you may say.
We won't let him.
You know what? Hopper gets a point for parenting, and Malevolent gets another negative. The former for trying to follow Joyce's advice, even though he blew up, lied, and threatened Mikey Boy. All entertaining from our viewer perspective, but bad from a real life perspective. The latter for just being disrespectful. So P1-H. And E3-28. So let's go ahead and retroactively add another point for Hopper for him taking care of Elle last season. That'll just count as 1, okay? Can only do so much. Mind Flayer can control rats, just rats, because Veil of Shadows between dimensions is broken. So, yes, they explain later. So that last part was answered in the series, so we won't let it, because these questions should be outstanding questions. So technically, over the course of the series, the count should go down. It is explained that the piece of the Mind Flayer that's still in the world is infecting rats, and maybe it was strategic, because they can get everywhere, they're small, whatever. But the only reason I bring that up is because what hit Billy's car? It wasn't in a damn rat, it broke the windshield. And let me tell you, rats can't jump that high. White rats can't jump. Oh, rats cannot jump that high. So we never see that animal. So I'm just wondering about the logistics of the infection. I guess it makes, a lot of it does make sense. There's a lot less questions this season, I will say that. Editing Swizzy here with rare medialist tweets because somehow they didn't make it into the video or threads that I read. So first one, how does one say no to Steve? Unfortunately, in his spree era.
I didn't see you there. Would you guys like to set sail on this ocean of flavor with me? I'll be your captain. I'm Steve Harrington.
I wasn't going to comment on it until Karen Wheeler interjected on her eavesdropping with Malevolent saying, "Is Nana all right?" This show isn't just funny in the one-offs, but moments and exchanges like these. Also, unhealthy attachment style, lying, etc. E4-29 overall. Season 3, Chapter 2, Mallrats. Okay. The Stutson reunion is so endearing and genuine. Joyce ready to add this to the Steve counter for being a good guy. Just genuine matey boy with no age prejudice. Love that. S1-20 overall. Speaking of reunions, kudos to Elle for actually reaching out to Max for her boy trouble instead of holding out that random jealousy throughout season 2. We love character growth. And Will being hella interested in Mike's drama, it's me. I'm Will. And y'all should be too, because when you rewatch this season, I want you to pay attention to okay, can we get back to the game? Okay, it sounds resolved. Let's keep it pushing. Sassy Will buyers, I swear. I feel as I'm going mad every time I get to this season because was the casting of these two important townsfolk meant to imply a blood connection? My face button is for white people is so triggered because the mayor and the newspaper editor put them in a lineup. Put them in a lineup and tell me I'm wrong. Tell me. Exactly. And hell yeah for the citizens protesting for their labor and economic rights against the mall. Join a union, join DSA. Because here's the thing, why does the mall have to compete? Why can't we have strong downtown thriving jobs and community space and also have the mall with unionized labor? It's the fact that they exploit us and turn us against each other. Because I'll tell you what, that mall is beautiful. And you know what? I forgot to mention it in the first episode. It looks just like the mall from Fear Street 1994. Anyone have any lowdown about that? Because I was like having a deja vu, even though this one came out first. Stranger Things is kind of a trendsetter. The way Mr. Carter brought in this season is so peak. Joyce, not the kids, seeking his help. They never seek his help this season. And she's back on the magnet train. Choo-choo. My Sharona. Working on his own science project with a whole like welder's mask looking badass. And that garage door open reveal. I'm telling you, the cinematography. The cinema. And when I say cinematography, I mean the whole package. You know, music, lighting, soundtrack, camera angles, etc. Mind Flayer, I want you to build. Billy, build what? Mind Flayer, build what you seek. Okay, sounds great, but after Billy's possession, is that dialogue Vecna speaking through the Mind Flayer? Also, heard my first Vecna chime at minute 31, second 20, V1. We're counted this season. Because the Russians are here, we don't need to count that. Okay? Always counting something new. Adding it to the count. Wardrobe and cinematography, see, I can't get off it, went ham. Better than John Ham. A good Christmas ham. 4 days away. Ah! Okay, crazy. Love her fit and Max's support and girl power. Go girlies. Anyone want to buy me that fit? Okay, this is the best I could do. It's giving like tropical fireworks. I think that fits. I think it's a good aesthetic. Yes, indeed. P.S. Mike was trying to buy her a gift, E-5 plus 30 overall. But her dumping him and his classic Mike confused TM face, E-6 negative 31. His face, y'all, his face. And then of course, Will's unbothered. Can we play D&D now? This sassy queer, I swear. You know what? Game recognizes game. I know that's right. But it is treated comedic, as opposed to another scene we'll get to. Love that Steve recognized the music and uncovering the Russian plot as Dustin is like negging him the entire time. With the almost complete goated up team up with Dusty Buns, whose friends just forget about him, and vice versa, and Buckley in the coal mine, like canary in the coal mine. Love a polygot. She really just like, yeah, I have these talents. Yeah, I may be a band geek, but I know what I got. She's more self-confident here, but it's obviously like, you know, like Dylan Levy from The Quarry. Love that game. Where people just put on a facade and then they get stuttery mess when they start revealing their true selves. That's Robin's character arc from 3 to 5. So I disagree with people who say she's inconsistent. I do. Also premiere of Blue Meets Yellow in the West. A popular element of Byler. Season 3, Chapter 3. The Case of the Missing Lifeguard. The fact that Elle, when she saw in the BVMS, the boys not caring about the breakup, in direct contrast to Max's boys come running back advice. It's both healthy for them, I guess, to not like get fixated and despondent, but still a negative for their relationship. Oh, healthy that they're being individuals, I guess. Yeah, because like even Elle laughing with Max as they're on the bus or laughing after seeing this scene is kind of endearing. She's like, okay, keep it pushing, keep it moving. Also using Elle's powers as a spin the bottle game, kind of genius though, which finally gets them into the mystery with the Mind Flayer as they see Billy is P.S. I can't get enough of Will not giving him a day free from girls. His queer coding is so obvious that I don't need to track it, but like, wow. Joyce looks so crazy. So crazy sticking magnets to Hopper's fridge. And it's not the only time she... Love it. She really is a tunnel vision girly. She also DGAF about his feelings. Stood her up on a date and she's like, I was over at Carter's and asking all these questions. And Hopper is in his feels. Cutie, patootie. And oh my gosh, I see why Hopper hates Mike, what I referenced earlier. Because he's a wheeler to Joyce's buyer. He is. He's the one who's like stuttery mess, gets caught up in his feels, can't explain himself. Who does that remind you of? And sometimes we hate people who remind us of ourselves the most. Punto. Hashtag Maleven. Hashtag Jopper. Hashtag Parallels. The rain scene. Very emotionally charged. Hard to quantify and process. Will hasn't done it yet, but I also made a confession in the rain. And that's all I'll say about that. And now it's hitting. Will huffs out of the basement. Mike immediately turns after teasing him to chase him, saying he genuinely wants to play, like, immediate, like, about face, like, recognize you're wrong. Remember Mr. Sinclair's advice from season 2. He follows him without Lucas and implies he doesn't like girls after Will insults Elle. So I'm actually funny enough counting that as a positive for Maleven, because he gets really defensive of L, so we'll count it as E-8 plus 33 overall. I've seen others count it as him projecting and his queer coding, but I kind of want to stick to what's more obvious, so not things like, you know, the color of the lights or, you know, the set deck and all these things. I kind of want to, like, what could a viewer reasonably infer, or if you just hold their hand and be like, look at this. Will retorts, maybe he did want to play games the rest of their life. And you know what? Valid. Mike is wrong. Will is right. Teenagers, get your emotions under control. But hey, BL-2 through 4, 20 through 22 overall. Peak cinema. Sometimes the side-by-side is the most helpful in the same flippin' episode. Max.
Worry about it.
And 11.
Okay? He'll come crawling back to you in no time, begging.
What do? They come running back.
I guarantee you, him and Lucas
To Will.
tumbles wallowing in self-pity. I scream and go, oh, I hope they take us back.
And Will tear down Castle Byers. You're not stupid, you sweet summer child. More pronounced clock imagery and obvious ticking at 38 minutes, 5 seconds, V2. And as Nancy and Jonathan continue their Scooby-Doo adventure, I'm realizing Stranger Things really is elite with their side bit characters. Because last episode, I thought Mrs. Driscoll was so sweet. She was lovely. Love the elderly when they're not tossing racism or boomerisms at you. And then they find her eating fertilizer because she's been infected, poor thing. And it's just like, I can only pray so much. It is a Sunday. My gosh. Just imagine being an actor or actress, like getting to do that crazy-ish. Just, that's what it's about sometimes. Can't believe I forgot while watching STS5V1 that Stranger Things literally cribbed itself in that episode of The Turnbow Trap. The side-by-side here. They really said, steal from the best. And that's us. Because we do what we know. And they did it better with Erica. This actress is so pretty. The way she conveys, like, what's wrong? She really, you know what? She really was Billy's counterpart. I wonder if they did chemistry reads because real recognizes real. I love how she conveys that much depth and range. But damn, like, see season 5? I'm kind of glad I did do this after season 5 because the parallels are paralleling. And let's have some fun. Mike, with Lucas, truly a best friend, knew where to find Will at Castle Byers. He did not just give up after banging on that boy's front door, because obviously Joyce neither nor Jonathan are home, and found him freaking out at Castle Byers, just in time for the classic Will neck tingle TM. And, you know, the classic Byler comfort sesh. BL-6, 24 overall. Season 3, episode 4. Max introducing Elle to Wonder Woman comics. What a nerd. No wonder Max Arena fits in with this group so well. Damn sexist. Mike, Lucas, Will, and Dustin. Why isn't Wonder Woman in your rotation? Sexism. Yes. Such a sweet girl bonding moment. Their relationship is great. Real glad Elle got over being jealous of Max and Mike for Matt Wheeler. AKA nothing in canon. Well. How the turntables. Lucas calling Max reaches her, and Dustin doesn't answer. Flip of the script of season 2. So what I mean is because Dustin was someone Dustin is the yeller. Is he the bard of the group? Because he will repeat himself till he goes horse. And so I'm just saying that Lucas is the one. Code red. Code Lyoko. I think people need to rewatch the series because it's funny that people really dislike Hopper this season because of, he's annoying with Mike and Elle and their relationship, and he's not as like streetwise detective, blah 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 blah. But the moment he goes into assault the mayor mode, cringe. He's back at his bad-ass problem-solving Hopper. And he should be different from season 1 because it's called Grant as a character. Like, you can hit similar character beats and, you know, fan service, but he should not be the same character as season 1 as in season 1. You're welcome. A word. Great writing for Nancy and Jonathan fight after getting fired in the car scene. Emotions are high. They both feel they're right. The other is wrong. She doesn't get his desperation fueled by economic insecurity. Classism. He doesn't empathize with her unjustifiable treatment and lack of dignity as portrayed by the newspaper people. Sexist. And it was so over the top. They could have, whatever, it's an over the top season. Pass. Him saying, grow up and live in the real world like the rest of us, snide little command. Means he's the worst one in the fight, though, which, surprise, surprise, Jonathan not being the best character. Anti-Jancy for a reason. Mike saying, boys only, as they hatch their plan for the possessed by the Mind Flayer Billy isn't just funny. It's literally Will's request from last season. I am so tempted to add this as queer coding and Byler. But it has to come with intent. That's like the other part of my like rubric for adding evidences. But it's just so like seed planted, plant grown. Hallelujah. To the Scooper Troopers, which they're just called the Scoop Troops, both in canon and in the fandom. But surprise, I add a little more to their name. Wow, I'm extra. First off, Dustin telling Steve, touch my butt, I don't care. Definitely proves he'd be fine with queer friends. Hello. It's great to have secure masculinity in all its forms, hetero, homo, and otherwise. Correct. Second, Erica took the words from my mouth because I'm like thinking, how did they bring this girl in again? It really feels, and she's like child endangerment. Favorite for a reason. Third, you can't spell America without Erica. Fourth, hate her defense of capitalism, but love that she's like, it's a product of her economic understanding to use her own leverage based on her positionality and abilities and talents, instead of like capitalism fueling her ideology or whatever. Like, because of how she thinks and processes and understands the world, she's like, oh, okay, this is a reasonable solution. When I don't believe it is, but her only character flaw, really? I mean, she has a couple, but the way she thinks, I love. Hop and Joyce taking the mayor hostage to his own home showed me, man, some wealthy people have no taste. Not awful taste and great execution. Not great taste and awful execution. Awful taste and awful execution. AKA Gaude. Not gaudy. We love Antonin Gaudy. Also, Hop literally asked Joyce to work at Hawkins PD. Makes sense with her spunky investigative spirit. I wonder. Season 5 epilogue? Because it's all over the fanfics. It is. Karen. Hears her daughter out. Strengthens her fighting spirit, which Nancy reciprocates. I get it from you. Encourages her to keep going with her little investigation. So, I guess she's Mrs. Blake because she said, I support you, Daphne. P2-W. Mama Wheeler is that bitch. And that conversation happens in the same location where she walked him down Wheelered, spoiler, that Demogorgon in season 5. Parallels, callbacks, and all of that. As the kids prep for taking on Mind Flayer Billy, Lucas apologizes to Will on his own. I can see it by Claire. I can see it. Great friend. Mike apologizes to Elle and reveals finally the hopper of it all and admits how important she is. E-8 plus 33. But Elle clocks his arse, though, asking if Hop is right. A bit of self-awareness. And calls him out for the different species. So E-9 negative 34 overall. But also the first instance of Mike's queer coding. So M-1 12 overall. I didn't put it when he says it, but more that she's calling him out. And it's like, Lucas is the one who says it, but it's kind of, I'll say this here is that we all have to learn, right? So some traits of hetero-romanticism or whatever, romanticism is more innate to us, but the way Lucas guides Mike at every stage, I mean, he's obviously the more experienced member. Sure. No, whatever. They're teenagers, so it really doesn't matter. I mean, adult relationships are like so much more complex and nuanced. And you're just going through the motions as a teenager, even though, sure, whatever. High school sweethearts, yada yada. But it is like, Mike would be so lost without Lucas because he's like, oh, really? This? Oh, I can do that? So many times in that season. And this is going to count as like him just agreeing that women are a different species. Well, men is the natural order of things. Man, they really gave Montgomery and Sadie advanced direction this season, developing their characters both individually and together. Because after telling the parentals, she's not my sister in season 2, it's the Mind Flayer manipulating him. Billy is saying like, I'm sorry, Mac, da-da-da-da. There must be grains of truth because the way Sadie is acting Max, it feels like she's developed a closer bond to him that she has somewhat been reciprocated, I am inferring. And that she truly cares for him as like a sibling love, fraternal love. And so I recognize that. P.S. My sound only goes up to 195. 220 is crazy high. Another Byler moment of lip looking as Max, get away from the door. Max, get away. Can't stop himself, that Mikey boy. BL-725. Will, another neck tingle. Tia. And then Mike almost dies saving Elle. She telepathically returns the favor and they fall into each other's arms. Malevolent. Y'all not crazy again. E-10 plus 35 overall. Season 3, Chapter 5. The Flayed. As the Scooper Troopers are trapped in the elevator, Erica name drops Tina for the first time. And no fault of any others in universe or in real life who thought she was black because she was surrounded by that cadre. I keep telling you. Because that's all her posse was this season. Not a season 5. And Steve has definitely lost his juice. Dude is frazzled. He does not have game this season. He's not racking up as many points. He goes back to reverting being focused on popularity and what looks good, his image. Like, he has regressed at his character, and I guess in universe, he graduated high school and has a mall job. You know, I think he's been humbled in some ways that, you know, can internally wreck with someone, and I'm not disparaging that because get a union job. There is no unskilled labor. Hey, but I can understand from his character perspective. And wow, I definitely forgot how much the Terminator guy sounds like Schwarzenegger, not just looking like him. Like, of course, a show in the 80s is going to reference a cultural phenomenon like that. But I get how others in the fandom, I think it is all a bit much. And finally, Alexei has returned 4 episodes later. Hello, boy. I forgot how funny this scene is after watching others parroting it all over online.
Joyce! Drive! Come on, Joyce!
So, let me see if I can do it. Joyce, drive. Joyce, drive! I think still I was holding back, but you get it. Joyce also has a hostage this time, talking to Alexi as Hopper's fixing the car about the damn magnets. Again, that magnet counter. And they reveal Murray finally returning after 5 episodes that he lives in Illinois. So now I'm having some geographical answers to the question I had raised prior. And that transition of Elle finding Hopper making us think he's responding to the VMMS, that was crazy. That was a really good transition. He's like, and it, cinematography. I keep telling y'all. And y'all know I stand my girl Erica. But Robin was right here. Like, baby girl, you're right, the body needing water and da-da-da-da, but what are you thinking that would be, like, digestible? Look at that green. Love how the liquid is never addressed again. It could be a cue, but I can easily just see it as powering the machine or whatever. It's kind of like an anti-MacGuffin. It never comes back. And I guess that's okay, because they used it to escape the elevator, so bada bing, bada boom. I can't with these two dudes. Like, acting all exacerbated that they have to sit in the back seat. Like, they couldn't have arranged the car any differently. You folks. Won't be the last time they're in a car together. Season 4. And I clicked clock. Will, low-key looking happy at the pairing. I'm counting it. VL8, 26 overall. Finally getting to Murray. Joyce calls him certifiable, which Hopper clocks her like I did as well when he says, the pot calling the kettle. And then Joyce yells at Murray about her damn magnets. Some things are just magnetic. She's a goofy goober gopher, I'm telling y'all. Because she has tunnel vision about these damn magnets. Dustin is all of us. Proud of Steve for winning his first on-screen fight. Against a Russian, no less. S-2, 21 overall. Also, Erica loves to call the other members of her Scooper Trooper gang and anyone in her vicinity that is friends with Lucas nerds. Everyone, really. But it's like, denial is a river in Egypt. Your husband is gay! Moment, because projection girly? Projection girly? This isn't just how you write a love triangle, but show it. Telepathically getting the candy from Mike, telling Will to move without words to have a heart-on-heart with Elle. Not Byler in my opinion, but E-11 plus, 36 overall. Season 3, Chapter 6, E Pluribus Unum. Pluribus. Another great show right now. Okay, this entire sequence is another reason why I love this season. Last season, we talked about cosmic horror. This season, with its body horror, it's giving The Thing on steroids. John Carpenter's, which is reference. Lucas, I see you. Correct. Gross body horror that's also terrifying and smart how it maneuvers. Elle smashing that ish like the insect it is. The stakes are high because there was just a silent massacre in the upper wings of the hospital. That desk lady, who on site with Nancy, lucky she survived. As Dustin clocks Erica as a nerd. I see you, Dustin. See the intelligence. We're right there. After Steve and Robin sacrificed themselves so the kids could get away from the Russians, S3-22, he cites My Little Pony from her backpack TV show, Latest Adventure, or blah, 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 I don't know. Applejack. This is where she gets her Lady Applejack name in season 4. And by the way, just want to be clear, he calls everything that she likes a nerd. To be clear, nerdom is really about facts, figures, numbers, studies, yada, yada. Geekdom is the kind of cultural elements, you know, movies, comic books, da-da-da. They're not the same, but heavily related. Correct the record. Got to. Great group fight over Elle. Fun Nancy and Max team up about enlightening Elle as her own person. Go girl power. And I was leaning towards making it a negative from 11, but this is where the flustered, passionate Mike gives his first love confession about her, saying he just cares about her and that they're all using her as a machine. I'll allow it. E12 plus 37 overall. Robin's we sat in the same class speech definitely can be interpreted by Steve to be the start of a love confession, because she's like, you know, we sat in the same class. You don't even remember me. Yeah, so I would always know what you ate, what time you arrived. Like, girl, no wonder he's gonna confess his love to you later. Come on. She says he was an asshole with only 2 documented instances, Jonathan's camera and the cinema marquee, which were not unprovoked. Go back to my season rewatch of that. Defensive Steve, correct I am. The show keeps telling us that, but they keep showing us something else. Also, Steve does need a doctor. 3 seasons of getting beat the F up. I'm worried a man has CTE or something. Correct, I'm worried. You know, the scene where Elle goes mind surfing in Billy's mind, and very well, again, cinematography, really is a unique way that's put to screen so well of exploring memories in the human psyche, and while doing a provocative job of showing the cycle of abuse manifest. And now I get how using Billy can double as Vecna talking through him. Like, this is the scene where it really comes together. Like, and he/they, he being Vecna, they being the Mind Flayer, reveals that she broke the veil of Shadows when she touched the Demogorgon in season 1. So I think that's starting to answer the timeline of events that was really confusing rewatching that season. They say that you let us in. And these sequences, the first in season 3 chapter 4 and now this one, are the 2 most disgustingly anguishing moments in the entire season, and maybe the show for me. Not just the body horror, but the sadness of all. Like, just the, like, zombie-esque drones to these people. I'm like, how much of them is still in there? And then falling over and becoming mush for the Mind Flayer. Awful. And they say 30 died in that mall. I don't know. Could be. But that would hell of people. Even the little kid. Maybe Hawkins does rival Derry, Maine, for the deadliest small town. Season 3, Chapter 7, The Bite. As Karen, Ted, the most alive we see in all of the series, and Holly watch the firework on the Ferris wheel, Holly notices the movement of the Mind Flayer in the trees. She doesn't even notice it. I mean, it's just like trees while there's fireworks going on. Maybe the only second time after the season 1 where she follows the lights and sees the Demogorgon on the wall. But girl is connected to the Upside Down. Yeah, the cabin crew did not have time to batten down the hopper hatches because the Mind Flayer were booking it when they first saw it on the horizon. And then they're all putting furniture on the walls. Interesting. But at least we get another shot of Nancy walking down Wheeler. That's correct. Murray does his matchmaking to cut through the noise of jobbers bickering. But I can't help but notice they're driving back the same night and staying over like Jancy did in season 2. Y'all ain't slick. Murray ain't slick. But thank you for cutting through. That bickering was annoying. Mike genuinely thinks he's genuinely in love with Elle when he can't say he loves Elle in the supermarket. I don't read that as queer coding. Again, I'm bi, so like I, whatever, have a lot of queer experiences. But that was just pure positive 11 moment. E-13 plus 38 overall. The new Coke argument is the first time in the series I literally groaned and felt taken out of the universe. Painful itself, but even worse when it's in my favorite season. God, that was just so Elle could be like, hey, can you guys shut up? So much other stuff they could have argued about. But anyway. And yes, Mike was sitting next to Will. Steve's love confession to Robin. I want whatever they were on. Brings me back. They were so funny all season, but especially on that serum. Like, if I could stare at the glitter on my face, I would get dizzy too and go to the bathroom. No, I wouldn't. I'm stronger than that. Nancy catching strays has been getting called prissy by Robin. Like, damn. Like, Nancy is not the popular girl, but everyone keeps trying to make her out to be. And Robin was a band geek. I love the high school classification because I love classifying things not to put people in their boxes, but as a starting point to understand the world. Love how Steve, the ally, cuts the tension after she says, yeah, Tammy is a girl. So the way she says, Steve. And he's like, you mean Miss Muppet? You mean Miss Muppet. Ally Steve, S4, 23 overall. And this elite move, like, okay, bad.
Floor's disgusting. Yeah.
Joyce and Hopper are holding hands in the Spin Master ride with Ted and Karen is like the first time we see the parentals together. Another hand grasp. There should be a hand grasp counter. Tempted. Yeah, so it's the first time we see any, because obviously Nancy and Joyce. I think it is. I've been rewatching it dedicatedly. So, and maybe not 1-on-1, but like 2 and 2. There you go. Justification. And you know what? I wasn't going to add a point earlier, but Ted and Karen Wheeler really doing all this carnival barking for Holly, adorbs. P-3W. You know, with Barb, we had 2 episodes. Bob, we had 8. Alexei, only 4. And they made us fall for him, because other characters did too, like Murray and Joyce. So really continuing their streak of making us fall in love with a character each season to kill them off. And fraternal bronze are beautiful. But wouldn't it be funny if Murray does his matchmaking shit for Byler and refers to this heartbreaking moment about his lost queer affections for Alexei. Not saying they are. Fraternal again. But it would just be funny. You know, kids, I almost had someone too. There were fireworks. Not just the sky, but my heart. Give me some writing credits, y'all. I can do this. I can do this all day. As the gang reunites and tries to catch each other up, it is funny how when Elle faints from her bite from the Mind Flayer, which I think it's reasonably implied, causing her to lose her powers after this and into season 4, she walked off from the group and gave signs she was not well. She was like stumbling, holding her head, and then faints, and then everyone in the group recognizes her. Mike along with everyone. So, but Mike didn't notice. If Will had walked off and done all that, how many seconds do you think Mike would have took to be there? How many? How many? I want y'all to answer the question. Because I have my own theory.
But hey, that's
it's just a theory. Season 3, Chapter 8. Battle of the Star Court. They really wanted to give Jonathan something to do when he runs off to get a knife and heat it up to cut a wound in Elle. When Steve and the Robin are the ones that work at the mall. They know each one's and which restaurant would have had knives. Because not every fast food restaurant has knives. I know that in the food courts. They really want to just have a heroic movement. Listen, I don't blame him for writing him so down low. I'm sorry. I have my favorites, and I admit it. Treat everyone equally. But P.S. Robin shows her first signs of Ravel Mouth Robin, like Motormouth Mabel. So not really a character change like some criticize, because she's like, oh, in character 4 and 5, she's just like a nervous. I already mentioned all that, okay? Look earlier in the video. Why Nancy just stood there and the kids just watched as they're inside the car, instead of getting out the car that when Billy is driving full speed like they did earlier in the episode. This is a playbeat. This is the first time. Just so Steve could have his hero moment. Crashing in the car. Be looking all epic.
Nice.
As a Steve fanboy, okay. I'm just, okay. I don't lose the logic. I just place it in context and say S5, 24 overall. I'm not sorry. But how can anyone hate this never-ending story sequence? It's so charming, endearing, and hilarious. Like, Susie was doing her little dance, and Dustin harmonized on top of that, and everyone's reactions. Peak cinema. Yes. Give me all that spectacle. Throwing fireworks at the Mind Flayer. Everyone just like, rah, 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 rock and roll. Okay. Aftermath. You feel for the character's reactions to Hopper's death. I'm glad they didn't kill him. And I'm glad they had the characters went through those emotions. Lumax singing to tease Dustin. Still can't buy into Jancy. It's not the actor's fault. They played it convincingly. I just love Lost Bro. That's all I gotta say. Mike, what if you join another party? Will. Not possible. Mike. Erica being genuine. Smiling as Lucas and Dustin give her the donation box, which has D&D. I'm not saying she has a crush on Dustin, and she's not ready to neg him. But I think she appreciates him after that life-changing, how do you not, you know? Wrapping up with a cascade of emotions. So many points to distribute. Byler gets a point, obvs, because the smile Mike gives Will. BL-10, 28 overall. Rare neutral 11 moment, E14, 39 overall. Wow. Because he obviously cares about, like, their heart-to-heart is sincere. We see them hugging later. So that's all positive, but the negative is his reaction to the kiss. And they were kissing all season. So what was it about that kiss that made him have that look of confusion? I am confused. Which is, yes, going to be M-2, 13 overall. Because it's low-key queer-coded. Like, he's in front of a closet. A lot of people have pointed that out with the light on. Makes you think. And his look of confusion. It's just like, is this what I really want? Will I really want this? And the Karen hug, P-4-W. Okay, we got to talk about that cutting board. Because, you watch shows and things happen and you're just absorbing it. And it's like, and then you rewatch. And then it's like, your eyes are trained and your eyes are expanded. And your mind grows. Because I have to go full screen for this. What is this cutting board? Is this an 80s thing? Is this an Indiana thing? What? It's so big. I don't get it. But yes, it leads into a beautiful moment where she drops everything onto that humongous cutting board, which can take it. And the evocative song, Peter Gabriel's cover of Bowie's Heroes, is such an oral quality to Byler. Because he obviously is missing Elle and missing Will, and the party's breaking up, and they're moving away, and he looks back at the house, and he comes crying to the mother. The paralleling season 1's episode when they think found Will's dead body, playing the same song, which is about Will, not about Elle. Makes you think, and makes me add another BL. Too intentional. Oh, and that's it. Okay, yes. Favorite season, it's so many good moments. I think I said everything, so I'm pretty happy. Thank you all for joining me on this adventure today.
And here are the totals for everything we tracked throughout this season. Do observe with me that the Byler counter has surpassed the positive 11 counter for the very first time.
I can't wait to get to season 4, which will be out before Christmas. Unfortunately, season 5 volume 1 won't be. But whatever, life is living. I have hundreds of thousands of people watching this video, so it's great. But yes, join me in the comments, subscribe so you can see more of this nonsense mess about a show that is hitting me like Lost or Community or Fringe or Dark. Just one of those life-changing ones. I don't know about you all, but yeah, thanks for getting this far. Off to the next one. I've been Swizzy Colón, and this has been Swizzy Says. Stay tuned.